Please be seated. Veuillez vous asseoir.
Nous sommes en audience publique, Monsieur le Président.
We are in open session, Mr. President.
Mr. Mofada, please proceed.
Mr. Witness, you've been telling us about what happened to person number 6 and how he was attacked. Do you remember telling us that before the break?
Yes, Your Honor.
You also said that a neighbor took him to Moi Referral Hospital in a car. Do you know what eventually happened to person number 6? Did he survive the attack?
Yes.
How do you know he survived the attack?
Let alone, we confirmed that he was airlifted Nairobi, where he went for treatment.
And please just confirm, what was person number 6's ethnicity?
Yes, he was a Kikuyu.
What did your group do after you went to where person number 6 was being attacked?
That's the time we realized the war was more worse. That's the time we decided to leave the place completely.
And where did you go?
We went towards Uganda Road, now leaving to town, Eldoret town.
And did you manage to get to Uganda Road?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Mofada is still on person number 6. Was it your intention to use the past tense in describing the ethnicity? Does anything turn on it?
Nothing turns on it, Your Honor.
The point is this person still alive as we speak?
Apparently he's still alive, so...
All right. Proceed, please.
Probably my grammar, Your Honor. Mr. Witness, then what happened when you got to Uganda Road? Please tell us.
We were on our way towards town. We were on our way towards Eldoret town. We reached a place.
Okay, please don't mention the place you reached, but tell us what happened at that place.
When we reached at that place, we were ordered women and children to leave, men to carry their identification cards on their mouth.
And who ordered you to do this?
There were some people there who we met there.
Mr. President, I wonder if we could go into private session for just one question, and then we'll come straight back out.
But was the testimony to the effect that the men were ordered to carry identification cards on their mouths?
That's the testimony.
We'll go into private session then. For one question.
Ms. Thompson.
We're in open session, Your Honour.
Now, please describe the people that ordered you to carry identity cards in your mouths. What was this group like?
They were Luo and lawyers.
Do you know the number? Can you estimate how many they were?
No, I can estimate, but they were more.
Do you mean more than your group?
Yes, Your Honor.
And approximately how many Kikuyu were you in your group at this time?
I can't estimate because when we were in the roadblock, we were being joined by the others from other places.
Mr. Witness, I know it's a bit difficult, but would you say you were in the tens or in the hundreds?
We were in hundreds.
And this group that ordered you to carry your identification cards, were they armed?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Mofade, for purposes of the proceedings, would you suspect that there may be a difference or any significance to it between, say, 200 and 900? if we are talking about hundreds? The point is it possible to try and pinpoint the number as much as possible?
I'll try again, Your Honor. I know the witness has struggled with estimates in the past. Mr. Witness, talking only about your own group for now, when you say there were hundreds, can you estimate whether it was 200, 300, 400? Please help us.
Or even a little over 100?
Yes, Your Honor. We were more, about, if I can estimate, about 1,000 above.
And please describe what else happened at this place.
The road were closed by refrigerators, stones, burning tires.
Please carry on.
Put a question, counsel.
Apart from the road being closed, what else did this group of Luos and Luyas do?
All men, we were being told to carry our identification cards on mouth. They were searching on our pockets. They took money, wallets, and our phones.
And how did you know that this group was made up of Luos and Luyas alone?
By our mother tongue, the way they pronounce was.
Did they speak to you? Well, in what language did they speak to you?
They were speaking in Kiswahili, but you could differentiate with their pronunciations.
And what did they...
Sorry, I see the transcript. So far, the transcript has been excellent, but there's a chevron there. I also did not hear the word. What with the pronunciation? Differentiate or?
Differentiate is what I heard,
That's what
Mr. President.
Exactly, okay.
And what were the words they were saying to you?
They were telling us now time is to leave to destination Odaya.
Could you repeat your answer, Mr. Witness?
They were telling us now is the time, now we have to leave the place and our destination will be Odaya.
I think the transcript has picked up the correct spelling. What do you understand Odaya to mean? Where is Odaya?
Odaya is the place where President Mwai Kibaki come from.
Did they tell you why they want you to go to Odaya?
Yes, Your Honor.
What did they say?
They told us because Odaya is the place where the president comes from. That's the place we should go.
Did they eventually allow your group to pass?
Yes, Your Honor.
Please tell us what happened next.
That's the time we left roadblock and then we went towards Eldoret town. We reached, I don't have the transcripts to show the position.
I wonder if the PIS form could be placed in front.
That's the time we leave the place, now heading towards Eldoret town, and we reach at location 4.
And location 4, do you know the main ethnic group that lives in this location?
Yes, Your Honor.
What ethnic group is it?
They are Kikuyus.
And tell us what happened when you got to location 4.
When we reached at location 4, they received us, they gave us food, water, and then they gave us a place to rest.
And how long did you stay there for?
About 5 hours.
And what happened afterwards?
We head towards Eldoret town.
And what happened at Eldoret town?
We went to police station.
And which police station is this?
Eldoret police station.
Now, you told us previously that your group left the wives and children. Please tell us what happened to the wives and children.
Repeat your question, please.
told us previously that when you heard the screams, the wife and children stayed and the men went towards where the scream was. Please tell us what happened to the wives and children afterwards.
I can't recall, Your Honor.
Did the wives and children join you at Eldoret police station?
Yes, Your Honor.
And on this particular day, where did you spend the night?
At Eldoret police station.
Now, I want to ask you about the following day, the next day. What did you do the following day?
That day we left police station and headed to location 4.
And what did you do at location 4?
We went there to search for food and water.
Tell us what happened on the way to location 4.
When we were at location 4, we were heading to location 4. We heard screams, people shouting at that location.
And what else happened?
The police were there. The police were there. When we were shouting for help, the police came and shoot on the air.
Firstly, which people were shouting?
Were Kikuyus.
And what were they shouting?
The Kalenjin were coming towards location 4. That's why they were shouting.
What are the words that these Kikuyu were shouting?
They were shouting, help, help, help.
And what did you see when this shouting was going on? Please describe exactly what you saw.
that point, I have like the annex to show how things were going.
I wonder if the court officer could bring the Annex 1 back on the screen, please. Mr. President, I'm in the court's hands here, but I think it might be safer to deal with this in private session because of some of the locations.
Let's see how we go. What witness? The question that the lawyer asked you was, what did you see when this shouting for help was going on? Are you saying the answer to that question about what you saw when the shouting for help was going on, that the answer to the question is in the annex, in the schedule true?
Yes, Mr. President.
Monsieur le Président.
Court officer, Your Honour, I can confirm that the document available on your screen is only accessible within the courtroom. This is a confidential document and it is not being broadcast outside the courtroom.
Thank you. Witness, try proceeding if there's a need to go into closed session. We will do that, but try your best to answer the question without disclosing your identity.
Pardon, Mr. President.
Proceed. Try to tell us what you want to tell us about the answer to the question, about what you saw when the shout for help was going on.
By that time, while they were shouting on this land and the rye factory, there's a path there. That's the place where the Kalenjins and the Luo and the Luyas were trying to come to attack location 4. That's why they were shouting, and then the police officer were there, but they could not chase them away, but they were shooting on the air. That's what I was trying to say.
Please Please pause, Mr. Witness. It appears that the witness was attempting to mark the sketch in front of him, but that didn't show up on the screen.
All right, witness, can you mentioned yes, I've killed all the microphones except my own. Ripe factory. Can we say that in public? All right. You mentioned ripe factory in your answer. Can you draw a cycle around it?
Yes, Your Honor.
And can you put the letter, can we use the word, the letter D now?
D, Your Honor.
Can you mark D on top of the circle you've just drawn?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, it seems to me that we can proceed. The record seems to be clear now from the answer the witness already gave.
Can you, Mr. Witness, can you draw a line showing where the Luos, the Kalenjin and the Luyas were coming from?
Yes, Your Honor.
You can do an arrow where they're coming from, towards where? All right, there is an arrow just drawn by the witness, just west of the circle around ripe factory. Is that where you say there was a path, witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. I would have asked, can you put an E at the end of the arrow? At the arrow point, at the end of the arrow, put the letter E there, so we can find it on the transcript later. That should be good enough, so let's not... It's not perfect, but we can make sense of it coupled with the transcript.
And Mr. Witness, could you also then mark an X, just mark where your group was in relation to the arrow you have just drawn?
Instead of an X, can we use F?
Could you mark an F there, please? And just for the record, it's a word that's been mentioned previously. The factory is Raiply, R-A-I-P-L-Y.
Indeed, and that seems to be what's written on the, although it's a little difficult to see, but that's what's on the, it's consistent with what appears on the sketch. All right.
So, please tell us please describe what this group of Kalenjin, Luo, and Luya did.
They were trying to enter to location 4.
And did they enter location 4 eventually? Did they succeed?
No, Your Honor.
What was happening to location 4 at this point? What was happening in location 4 at this point?
At that location 4, we were there. We were shouting, and they were trying to enter location 4. But the police came and helped us by shooting their guns in the air.
And what do you know? Well, what happened to the residents of location 4? The people who lived at location 4, what happened to them?
Add on your question, please.
What happened to the people who normally live at location 4?
I'm not getting your question, please.
When the group of Kalenjin, Luo, and Luya were trying to get into location 4, what were the people who live in location 4 doing?
They were trying to make them not to come to location 4.
And describe how they were doing this.
By shouting, screaming, and asking for help.
Did the group of Kalenjin, Luo, and Luya, did they remain at the place you have marked, or did they go away?
When the police were shooting on the air, they were running away.
Do you know if they returned?
They did it for several times.
did they eventually manage to attack location 4?
No, Your Honor.
And do you know why these people were trying to get to location 4?
Yes, Your Honor.
Why?
Location 4 is being owned by rich people.
And rich people from which ethnic group?
From Kikuyus.
Did you eventually go back to your own home at location 1?
No, Your Honor.
Did you return to see what had happened to your home?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court officer, we are now in public session, Your Honour.
And when the government rebuilt the house for you, when did this happen? What year?
I'm not sure of the time they built the house.
Once again, Mr. President, my learned friend here has the statement, and I have no problem at all with the witness being led on this, on these issues, dealing with the rebuilding of his home.
Mr. Keegan-Cathcart?
No objection, Mr. President.
Mr. Mofade?
Did you move back to your house in August 2008? Does that date ring a bell?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, between when the violence happened and August 2008, where were you staying? If the location is on the list in front of you, please refer to it. If not, we can go briefly into private session.
Your Honor, my learned friend can lead on these issues. They're not in dispute, so he can lead so that we can get to the conclusion as quickly as possible.
I don't think it's the leading that's the issue, it's the identification that's the issue.
Your Honor, my friend can give the number to help the witness.
Mr. Witness, how many weeks did you stay at Eldoret Police Station?
On the day we arrived there.
did your family also stay there with you?
Yes, Your Honor.
And
we haven't got that. Because we may not have the difficulty.
Mr. Witness, do you know what the sublocations of Huruma are?
Yes, Your Honor.
Please tell us the sublocations of Huruma.
We have Huruma itself, a sublocation. We have Kapsaos as a sublocation.
Sorry. Capsals, you say? Is it within Huruma?
Yes, Mr. President.
Okay.
And then we have Kibulgain.
And as regards the spelling, I believe that is Kibulgenyi. And apart from these two sublocations, are there any other divisions or subdivisions in the Huruma area?
I can't recall, Your Honor.
All right. Let's do what we did yesterday. And the question is it possible that there are other sub-locations within Huruma, but you do not know what they are called?
Yes, Mr. President.
Your Honor, I understand Your Honor's point, but I think a fairer reflection might be that he doesn't recall what they're called. He did say, I don't recall, rather than that he doesn't know.
I stand corrected then. You can take it from there. So we've established that it's a matter of, there may be others, but he doesn't recall the names.
Now, let's start with Kibulgin. Does Kibulgin have any subdivisions?
Yes, Your Honor.
Please tell us what they are.
We have Kamkunji.
And is that spelled Kamkunji?
Repeat, please, your spelling.
Kamkunji.
That's correct.
Apart from Kamkunji, please name the others.
We have Kapchumba.
Any others?
I know only those two.
Now, the other subdivision, Capsaos, do you know if it has any divisions or subdivisions?
No, Your Honor.
And is it that you don't know, or it does not have any subdivisions?
I don't know.
Now, this makeup of Huruma, is this, as you know it, to have been in 2007?
Yes, Your Honor.
And do you know if Huruma is still divided in this way today?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Mofade, I see we have 16 minutes to 1. I take it you will be ending by then.
I will be. In fact, I'll be ending in about 5 minutes.
Okay.
Mr. President, the only other matter that I would you honest forgive me for a minute? Mr. Witness, when you say I asked you if the makeup of Huruma is the same today as it was in 2007. Do you know whether it is the same or not?
I don't know, Your Honor.
Mr. President, that's all I have for the witness, aside from having EVD numbers assigned to both annexes and asking that they be admitted.
How many annexes do we have?
Just one.
I thought it was only one.
Your Honor, it's the one.
And then the PI.
And, well, I'm referring to the second one, which was marked by the witness. I believe both ought to be exhibited, as opposed to the one that was unmarked and annexed to his witness statement.
Why do we need to do both? Couldn't we use the annotated version alone? Do you need both?
It's for completeness of the record, and the reason behind it is because the defense may also want to refer to the same document. The
Fair
ideal,
enough. Fair enough. Okay.
and of course,
the PIS.
Your Honor beat me to it. Yes.
All right.
No objections to either, Your Honor.
No objections, Mr. President.
So the sketch in both forms, both the plain form and the annotated form, would be admitted into the record as the next in the prosecution exhibits. As well, the PIS will be admitted as the next in the prosecution PIS.
Oui, Monsieur le Président.
Court officer. Yes, Your Honour. Documents KENOTP 00880080, confidential document, the original version of the map, of the sketch, will have EVD OTP 0030, item number 30 submitted by the Office of the Prosecutor. Next, documents KEN ICC 0001 0011, annotated version by the witness, will have EVD OTP 00031, item number 31, submitted by the Office of the Prosecutor. The level of this item is confidential. And lastly, the version, the submitted version of document PIS, Protected Information Sheet in English, will be recorded under reference KEN PIS 0001 0021. It has 4 pages, and it will also be confidential and accessible for those who are present in the courtroom with their respective teams. Thank you, Your Honour.
Thank you. Of course, we welcome the new competent interpretation voice we have who've joined the case. We welcome them. We have certain eccentric languages we use in the proceedings. One of them is instead of item number, we will say exhibit number. So it will be exhibit number 30 and exhibit number 31 for the prosecution. Now, we are now done with the prosecution examination in chief. We will begin with Mr. Is that Kicking Katwa or Mr. Ruto's defense counsel cross-examining first, if you do have cross-examination?
Mr. President, I am very unlikely to have any questions to ask. And for that reason, I would rather that Ruto's team goes first. It's an issue we have consulted on. And subject to what comes from the cross-examination, I will have made up my mind whether I will cross-examine.
All right.
Your Honor, I believe that should be Mr. Ruto's team.
Your Honor, my learned friend was referring to the team, not the person. But Your Honours, I in that case will go first. Your Honours, we have 10 minutes to go before lunch. I know today's a Friday. It would be very nice, I think, for the witness in particular, if he could be released before the weekend, so the witness doesn't need to stay in the Hague over the weekend and the court go to that additional cost. Your Honour, to ensure that that's viable for me, I'm trying to cut down my area of questioning. Your Honour said previously there's no need to prove the case, all of it, through various witnesses. Is it possible to have a 1-hour lunch break today rather than an hour and a half? And that may allow me to finish today, and then the witness hopefully go home, earlier.
1 second. See, Mr. Naratsat has been wanting to say something for some time now. Mr. Naratsat?
Thank you, Mr. President, Your Honours. With all due respect, we have an application pending before the Chamber, Your Honour. According to your decision issued 20th October, Your Honours have reserved your ruling on the application made by Mr. Indiretu in view of questioning the witness on stand. And according to your decision, Your Honor, we were expecting that you would hear the submissions of the prosecution and the defense teams, and would allow us to make a reply, so that you will be able to make ruling on the application. Thank you.
Mr. Khan, that makes your application a little complicated now. Now, let's do this. We will hear the submissions, but before we do that, I bring this for purposes of management of this case going forward, especially in the next session. I remember during the session this morning, in private session, was it Mr. Narat that had expressed a thought that he expected we were going to conduct this case for a number of years, and I said no, we want to finish this case as quickly as possible. Now, with that in mind, I return to the matter of agreed statement of fact. There are some agreed statements of fact, I believe, between the prosecution and the defense. In fact, two such documents exist. They must have meaning in the case. And what we will try to avoid is a situation where we have agreed statements of fact and witnesses are called, put on the stand to repeat just those agreed statements of fact. And we take a lot of time doing that. We're not saying that witnesses should not testify, but if we have agreed statements of fact, there's a reason for that. And we have to make that count. This is just some thought I thought we express at this stage. right. As you know, there are two cases sitting simultaneously. There's the Pemba case as well. That's also sitting as we do, and we need to coordinate to make sure we cannot make life too complicated for the system. Right. So we waiting to hear from Mr. Rojas.
I'm most grateful.
Information. Okay. Yes, we will then have a 1 hour lunch break. We will rise now and come back at 2. The blinds will come down and the witness will be escorted from the courtroom. We will be taking submissions when we come back from Mr. Naratetek, and we would expect to do that in 5 minutes. For everyone.